the most dedicated, long-time servants who have been here in our community year after year after year. And you will continue to hear his voice. Look at the young brother, young black man coming in the back. Let's give him a hand. That's what we're here for. Let's bring on to the roster here, Minister Najee Muhammad. Let's bring him on and let's hear from him.
All right.
Come on, give it to him, y'all.
All right. All right. All right.
Assalamu alaikum. To my beautiful black brothers and sisters, Afro-descendants. How do you feel today?
Blessed.
I don't hear you now.
Blessed.
This is the day that Marcus Garvey was born. How do you feel?
Blessed.
All right. Marcus Mosiah Garvey was born August 17, 1887 in St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica. The Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey made significant contributions in the uplift of our people. And we salute him today.
Yes.
We have to give honor, give respect to all of the leaders who worked on behalf of the upliftment of our people.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said of the late Marcus Mosiah Garvey in his book, The Supreme Wisdom. I have always had a very high opinion of both the late Noble Drew Ali and Marcus Garvey, and admired their courage in helping our people, the so-called Negroes, and appreciate their work. Now here is another leader, another black man, giving credit where credit is due.
All right.
And that's what we have to do with each other. We are all descendants of slaves. We are all Afro-descendants. We are brothers and sisters, regardless of where we are at in this Western Hemisphere. I have lived in Los Angeles, Compton area, Pasadena, California. I lived in
I don't want to move too much right now.
Atlanta, Georgia. I lived in Brooklyn, Queens, and I've been here in the Washington, D.C. area for about 31 years. So I'm not a brother just Johnny come lately, no. I've been around. And I see the same condition in every city that I live in. The same condition. I've seen the drug problem in every city. Is that by design?
Yes, sir.
That's attacking our family. That's attacking our community. That's destroying us as a people.
That's right.
The liquor stores. The liquor stores are placed in the black community, the Afro-descendant community, to medicate you because of the pain that you are feeling.
Yes, sir.
That economic pain.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. You know the devastation of the black family. The black family torn apart because the black man, he might not be able to take care of his family. Wife might be upset. And before you know it, they have a party, broken up. What about our children, our babies? Our babies.
Teach, Muhammad.
Do you really, really, really love our babies?
Teach, Muhammad.
Do you really, really love our babies?
Yes.
If you really love our babies, you wouldn't be selling drugs, selling death to our people.
That's right.
Do you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I'm serious about this because that hit close, very, very close to home. I know. I know. I know. Believe me, I know. And I have felt that pain. I know about police killings. I had a relative of mine killed in New York City over 20 years ago. I know. I know about the criminal justice system. But I never did a day. I had relatives to do time. I had one relative who had 200 years plus life. A brother, 100 years. And I asked them, how did you feel when the judge rendered judgment on you? He said, brother, my whole body went numb. I say to my brothers in the streets, come out of the streets because the streets never lost a battle or never fought to a draw. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Everybody in here knows somebody that knows somebody that has been incarcerated, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you a short story. And I'm going to get back to my lecture. I was called to jury duty. I said, okay. So I went to my bookshelf and I pulled the book by Michelle Alexander, Mass Incarceration in the Era of Barack Obama. So they were selecting the jurors, potential jurors. And the judge asked the potential jurors if they had any relatives that was incarcerated or was a part of the criminal justice system. It was about 50-some Afrodescendants. And it was about 3 white people. And when he asked that question, all the black people stood up. And I looked around, I said, oh, wow. And the 3 white people were still sitting. So that lets me know that something is wrong. And the judge asked another question. Words to the effect, do you have any problems with the criminal justice system? Words to that effect. And I stood up. And I looked around and all the black folks sitting down. They remained in their seats. And the judge said, I'm going to call you up to the bench in a few minutes, but I have to talk with the prosecuting attorney. I have to talk with the defense attorney. And he called me up. He said, well, you retired. You retired from a real good job. Why don't you want to serve on this jury? I said, Your Honor, I have a cousin who was sentenced to 200 years plus life in the penitentiary. I said, he didn't commit a murder. I said, he didn't rape anyone. I said, yes, he robbed. But at the age of 17, and that black man is out today, and he's 60 years old. Do you hear me? So I know about the criminal justice system too. So I'm not a brother just popped up here in Washington, D.C. I've been around. I can feel your pain because I'm just like you. My sister, I feel your pain. I know because I went to research the most horrific crimes that this Caucasian committed against our people. And when I read one book, I laid my head down on my desk and wept. Our people don't know the depths of what this Caucasian have done to our people.
Hey.
But let me move on with my lecture. We of the Afrodescendant Nation give credit to the Honorable Noble Ali.
Teach.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Teach.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Teach.
And Dr. Huey P. Newton of the Black Panther Party. And we shall never forget Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Of the new Black Panther Party.
Yes, sir.
And his stand for self-determination and independence.
Yes, sir.
All of these men taught unity. And here are some quotes. Marcus Garvey. If anything state-worthy is to be done, it must be done through unity. We can't get around that. What I'm trying to say to you today is that all of the leaders left a message of unity.
Yes, sir.
And there's something that we got to do.
Yes, sir.
You and I have to come together. That's something that we got to do. We got to do some work. We have unfinished business. Our ancestors were set on a certain course. They gave us the baton. And we got to carry it on.
Yes, sir.
Fourth and goal to goal. What are we going to do? Are we going to fumble the ball or go over into the end zone? What are we going to do?
We going to the end zone, brother minister.
We're going into the end zone.
Yes, sir.
If you believe that we're going into the end zone, raise your hands.
Yes, sir.
All right. And to my Orthodox Muslim brothers, Prophet Muhammad said, and hold fast to the rope of God.
Yeah, you standing.
All together and be not divided.
Teach.
Be not divided.
Teach
That's
that
what
Islam.
Muhammad said.
Teach that.
Unity is what we want.
That's right. Amen.
Unity. That's what we want. We got to have it. We got to teach our offspring, our male offspring. Look, man. Stop referring to yourself as a dog. Stop referring to yourself as nigger.
Teach.
Stop that. I saw something yesterday that pained me. There were 4 young men. And there was one white man, a white youth, with these other 4 black youth. And I'm listening. I'm listening. And one of the youth continued to use the word nigger in the midst, while white boys in their midst. Brothers, we got to do better than that. That's right. Brothers, you have to stop your sons, sit down and talk with them. You have to educate them. You mean to say that we went from the N-word to dog? What about what Marcus Garvey was living? You said, what's happening, brother? What's happening, sister? We got to get back to that.
Yes, sir.
We got to leave that degradation alone.
Yes, sir.
That comes from the white world. That made you other than self. That made you not to love yourself. You are the cream of the planet Earth. God and goddesses of the universe.
Teach.
That's you. That's me.
Teach, Muhammad.
Once you learn your glorious past, you know, white boy tell you nothing.
That's right.
Do you hear me? They cannot tell you anything. If I'm somewhere at some agency or something, and I'm being waited on, I'm waiting for them to call my name. And I can see them when they look at the name. They look at it, you know, for a second, and they call my name, and I stand up with great pride. Great pride. What's wrong with a righteous name?
That's right.
A good name is better than gold.
Teach.
I gave the white boy his name back. I said, you can have it back.
Yes, sir.
I said, I'd be damned if my children gonna take your legacy into the past, into the future. Yes, sir. There's no way. Once you learn who you are, once you get the knowledge of yourself, you look at the world differently. And when I left that old world, I closed the door.
Yes, sir.
I left his cigarettes alone. I left his wine alone. I left his whiskey alone. And the last time I took a drink, brother, 45 years ago. Last time I took a smoke, 45 years ago. Yes, sir. I left the old world. I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world.
That's right.
I left it alone because it was killing me softly, killing me. I remember living in Compton. There was a Catholic church on one side of the street, and there was a funeral home on the other side of the street. And at that particular time, I was not a member of the Lost Found Nation of Islam. And so like everybody else that grew up in America, I did some of the same things that they did.
That's right.
I'm being truthful with
That's
you.
right.
I smoked reefer. That's over 45 years ago.
That's right.
So I'm sitting on the steps. And I've been smoking. So I'm not going to lie to you, I was smoking at that time. I'm sitting there, I'm kind of high. I looked over to the left. The people at the funeral was crying. And I looked over to the right. That was the Hispanics or Mexicans. They was throwing rice. And that reality was so deep until I had to get up off the porch. So leave that world alone. What is drugs going to do for you? Nothing. If you continue to smoke the cigarettes, it's going to kill you. And the white man continued to laugh all the way to the bank. Yes. And you cry all the way to the hospital.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. remarked, there has never been a solid, unified, and determined thrust to make justice a reality for Afro-Americans. I want you to listen to these leaders talk about unity. And that's something that we got to forge. Brother and sister, you know we're supposed to be unified. And as long as this white man still divided, we roll. As long as we can't sit down together and iron out our issues, the white man gonna rule. And he's gonna divide us, keep us divided and fighting against each other.
Right there to your left.
But when they see us come together in unity, it's gonna be a hell of a day here in America.
Yes, sir.
Noah Drew Ali stated, where there is unity, there is strength. Together we stand, and divided we fall. I want you to listen to those of you who love Malcolm, right?
Yes, sir.
Indeed. Malcolm talked about unity. Now listen to his words. Ignorance of each other is what has made unity impossible in the past. Therefore, we need enlightenment. We need more light about each other. Light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience. And patience creates unity. Once we have more knowledge, light about each other, we will stop condemning each other, and a united front will be brought about.
Teach, Muhammad.
Afro-descendants, my beloved people, we must speak with one voice.
Yes, sir.
As we unify around the issue of self-determination and reparations.
Teach.
There's a great and enormous disparity in economics between us and the children of the slave masters due to 310 years of chattel slavery. Now I'm getting ready to really show you something. I'm getting ready to really show you how far we are behind. I'm going to show you this because there's no way. One economist said, African American household pace of catch-up since 1968, according to a report issued earlier this year by United for Fair Economy. It will take 581 years or 20 generations to achieve
Peace.
economic parity between black and white.
Moses.
So that lets you know that something is wrong, right?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
It's going to
Let's
take
see.
581 years or 20 generations.
Come on, Watson.
I don't
Come
even
on.
think that you
Get in
can
there.
digest that.
Longer than we've been here.
Let me say it again. It will take 581 years or 20 generations to achieve economic parity, meaning equality when it comes to income with white people. Let me go on a little further, because I don't think that you really understand and can see how far this devil has pushed us down into the economic mud. For most Americans, home ownership is the major asset. 75% of whites own their homes, while more than half of blacks rent.
Teach, Muhammad.
At the rate of progress recorded since 1970, UFE estimate it will take 1,664 years to close the home ownership gap. 55 generations. Oh, brothers and sisters, an angel wouldn't do that. An angel wouldn't push you down in the moon like that.
I'm going to ask you, why are some black people so difficult to talk to? You know, you feel like when you do it, when you ask them for a job, you know, you got to go to give you all the 50 rounds from that, you know, you give detail about, you know, just how you do it.
Hold your question to the end of Okay. I want to say something to you. I want to show you that how far this government has pushed you down in the mud, that you're not equal for white people. You never will be. You can dream all you want to, but you never will be equal with him. When you have your own land, when you control your own destiny, then you are equal with him. From the book, White Fragility. And in this book, it talks about white people in power. It talks about white people from President Barack Obama and Vice President Kamala Harris. U.S. House Freedom Caucus, 99% white. Current U.S. presidential cabinet, 91% white. People who decide what TV show we see, 93% white. People who decide which books we read, 90% white. People who decide which news is covered, 85% white. People who decide what music is produced, 95% white. People who direct the 100 top grossing films of all time worldwide, 95% white. Teachers, 82% white. Full-time college professors, 84% white. Owners of men's professional football team, 97% white. Sounds like you need some reparations, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm almost finished. Dr. Cornel West, a staunch advocate for reparations for Afro-descendants, entered the 2024 presidential race. His opponent, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris, along with Jill Stein and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., have yet to declare that they have full support for full and complete reparations. At this time, to my knowledge, Afro-descendants, do you actually think that Donald Trump or Kamala Harris is going to support full and complete reparations?
No.
I will say this. is that Dr. Cornel West support full and complete reparations for our people. I can say that much about him.
Yes, sir.
But I can't say that about the other two people. And in my closing, I want you to know that there are 756 billionaires in America. 756 billionaires. And on this list that I was reading, it was only 10 Afro-descendant billionaires. Now, Elon Musk is worth $218 billion. Elon Musk is able, if he wanted to, give each Afro-descendant in America, which is 49.2 million of us, he could give each one of us $1 billion apiece and still be worth $168.8 billion in his bank account. Brothers and sisters, I thank you for.
Go ahead, Muhammad.
Thank you for listening, Muhammad.
Give a strong round of applause, please. Minister Najee Muhammad, please hold your seats. Please hold your seats. This is almost concluding part one. I want my brother Mosiah, right?